Welcome to the Junkyard News channel.
Do you have a warrant? This is being videotaped.
It was there when she says the deputy went into her home without permission that she has an issue with.
This video was intended to inform and educate the public.
What makes him any different than a burglar or somebody who's out to harm me? To not just run into my home, because that's what he did.
Do me a favor, take a moment, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment because it really helps the video. And with that, look what I got for you today.
A Cherokee County woman says deputies busted into her home without a warrant and then arrested her for questioning them.
Show me a warrant.
Security video from a Woodstock home shows the homeowner and a Cherokee County Sheriff's deputy at odds.
Deputy barges into a woman's home in Georgia and arrests the homeowner when she demands to see a warrant. Welcome to the Junkyard News. Imagine sitting on the porch of your home enjoying the evening, a place that's supposed to be a safe place, a constitutionally protected Fourth Amendment place. The Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is supposed to be the most secure and rock solid in one's home. The one place in America where the Constitution says the government cannot tread without cause. Then, out of nowhere, a sheriff's deputy barges through your door without a warrant, without permission, and without any legal justification. That's not a bad dream. It's exactly what happened to a woman who lives in Woodstock, Georgia.
Deputies pulled up to her house to arrest her 21-year-old son over the weekend, but says that wasn't the problem.
Do you have a warrant? Come on out. Do you have a warrant? This is being videotaped.
It was there when she says the deputy went into her home without permission that she has an issue with.
What makes him any different than a burglar or somebody who's out to harm me? Even if he has a badge on, what he did was not legal. And if he's going to do that, what else is he going to do?
Circled in the video on the right of your screen, you can see Lopez standing in the doorway between the officer and her home.
Now, according to her, deputies stormed into her home to arrest her 21-year-old son, who they wanted to speak to regarding traffic violations that had occurred in the past. No warrant, no explanation that fits within the narrow exceptions to the Constitution, just brute authority trampling over one of the most sacred rights we have, the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment's guarantee that our homes are our castles, protected against unreasonable searches and seizures. Now let's be clear, the law is not complicated here. The U.S. Supreme Court has said it again and again. Police need a warrant to enter your home unless there's an actual emergency or they are chasing a fleeing felon. These are called exigent circumstances, and they are supposed to be very rare, not routine. Someone screaming for help inside a home. That's exigent. A fleeing felon running into a home while cops are in hot pursuit. That's exigent. But what this deputy did, this just plain sounds like an illegal power grab. Thy will be done. Constitution be damned. And that's what makes this story so infuriating to me. This wasn't about saving someone's life. This wasn't about stopping evidence from being destroyed. This wasn't about protecting the public from an immediate danger. This was about raw, unchecked authority. This is about a deputy who decided to play by the rules he decided to play by, his own rules. And the Constitution, in his eyes, didn't apply to him. By the looks of it, it seems that the Constitution, in his eyes, was just a suggestion, not the law of the land. Think about the arrogance here. Deputies are trained. They know the boundaries. They are drilled in the idea that warrants matter. But when one of them decides to bulldoze through your door anyway, what does that say about the culture inside the department? What does it say about respect for the very community they're sworn to protect and serve? It says this: your rights are only as good as the officer standing in front of you at that moment in time. And if that officer decides your rights are inconvenient or irrelevant to what he wants to do, they're gone. Just like that. That's a terrifying reality, and it should outrage every single person who hears this story.
asking him for a warrant and calling 911.
Immediately, he just like that heard the 911 operator and just grabbed my arms and you're under arrest.
That night, Lopez was booked into the Cherokee County Jail for obstruction. The sheriff's office stands by their deputy.
Oh, there's a big surprise. That's an incredible. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
The sheriff's office says its deputy entered the home as part of a protective sweep before getting a signed search warrant for Lopez's son's phone.
Let's not forget the founding fathers wrote the Fourth Amendment because of the abuses just like this. British soldiers once raided colonists' homes without warrants, seizing property and terrorizing families. Our Constitution was written to make sure government agents could never again treat people like that. Yet here we are in 2025, watching deputies in Georgia repeat history as if none of those lessons matter. And here's the kicker. If ordinary people commit an unlawful entry, it's called burglary. When a deputy does it, they hide behind the badge. And more often than not, nothing happens. That's the double standard that shreds public trust in law enforcement. That's why stories like this hit so hard, because the system seems rigged to excuse the cop and criminalize the citizen. Let me say this plainly as I can. A deputy barging into a Woodstock home without a warrant is not policing. It's tyranny at its core. It's government intrusion at its ugliest. And it spits in the face of the very Constitution that every officer swears an oath to uphold. Now, if this news story is accurate, and from everything reported, it sure sounds like it, then the deputy that forced his way into that home and then arrested the homeowner for the gall of demanding a warrant should be held accountable. Not given a paid vacation, not shielded by vague excuses about doing his job. Accountable. Because if we let this slide, we're basically saying the Fourth Amendment doesn't matter anymore. And once that right to be secure in our own homes is gone, what's left? This is Woodstock, Georgia, not some lawless back alley. But when deputies take it upon themselves to act above the law and above the boundaries set by the Constitution, that's exactly what it becomes. Lawlessness. And the people who should be the first to demand justice are the very community members whose homes and families are now left wondering, will I be next? That outrage belongs to all of us. Because if the Constitution doesn't protect a woman in her home from her own sheriff's deputies, then it doesn't protect you or I either.
She says deputies pulled up to her house to arrest her 21-year-old son over the weekend, but says that wasn't the problem.
Come on out. You have a warrant. This is being videotaped.
It was there when she says the deputy went into her home without permission that she has an issue with. When law enforcement doesn't supply a warrant before entering someone's home, it could be deemed illegal if it's not a life or death matter. As for Lopez and her obstruction charge, Fair says the deputy's command may have not been legal.
So if you're entering in someone's home without a warrant and you're trying to, enter in without the warrant and without producing the warrant, and she's asking you for the warrant, she has a right to ask you for a warrant if you're entering her home.
The search warrant in question here, both Lopez and the sheriff's office says, was signed 30 minutes after her arrest.
Nice. 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 Nice.
Thank you again for watching this video here on the Junkyard News. Be careful, people. I'm telling you, you just never know. This could happen to you or your family member, and you just never know when the next interaction you have with a law enforcement officer brings you to being featured in our next video. Thanks again.